Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life with Sterling Fox on AM 650.
And we're back talking retirement living with the gang from Revera Retirement Living, including Lydia Miller, who is Director of Sales for Revera, British Columbia. Down from Kelowna, and back with us on Boomer Life is Therese Elvis, a lifestyle consultant at the Dorchester, Revera's community in Kelowna. And also on the program tonight is Patrick Fagan from Act Together Moving, which is a family business. You've already told us about your big sister who runs the Victoria shop, and you're the new branch operation here in the Lower Mainland, based where in White Rock, South Surrey.
Correct,
right?
yeah.
You talked earlier, Patrick, about some of the work you do with people, and the bulk of your work is done with seniors, both on the island and here in the Lower Mainland, just helping seniors move, whether it's moving from a home to a condo or to a retirement community like the Dorchester or Whitecliff down in your area. But you mentioned, I want to come back to this, because you said one of the services you provide is helping people divest themselves of all of that stuff. You suggested the 3 piles, for example. Mm-hmm. What do you absolutely want to keep? What can be given away to help people? And what just has to go? So it's pile number 2, because you said in certain instances you've actually helped people sell some of their stuff to make a few bucks, and you've had a few surprising examples along the way. The Craigslist crowd has jumped on some of the offerings you put out there.
Oh, yeah. We end up selling a lot for our clients, and let's say it's not a thing that we find, but we end up, we're getting the place ready, and lo and behold, there's a bundle of cash under a cushion on the couch. And thankfully, we work with bonded, trusted movers.
Okay.
So we get things turned over to us on moving day that surprise, it's a pleasant surprise for us and our client.
I'm sure.
But we had this other time where we're helping them sort through some artwork pieces that they said, it's okay, we're not really fond of it. We probably just need to get rid of it. So we brought in an appraiser, and to our surprise, to the client's delight, the painting was worth $5,000.
Really?
And you know what? That was money they weren't counting on, but they were pretty excited to be able to put that money in their pocket.
Well, Lydia, that's out of one of our favorite shows, the Antiques
I
Roadshow.
know.
I love
It's
that stuff.
That's great.
Well, and what a nice surprise. Suddenly you're $5,000 closer to a pain-free move to a Revera community.
Well, and you're also going to like this one, Sterling. We were helping a general, a Canadian general that was moving into a retirement community.
Uh-huh.
He was pretty excited about the move and the stuff in the basement, the tools down there. He just wanted to get rid of them all. And as I was shifting things around, found a copy of the Montreal Gazette from the day that World War II was announced that it was over. And I brought it upstairs to him, and this brought a tear to his eye. A lot of memories came back, and that was something that we wanted to frame. We wanted to put with a few other things, and that was going to sit on the wall as people came into his new home at a retirement community. Right. They're going to get a sense of who this gentleman was and what he served, who he served, and what he did for our country.
Age is more, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel a reality show coming on.
Well, anything's possible here.
Anything's possible.
Lydia, talk to us a little bit about stuff, though, and the fact that it's seized upon as an excuse of convenience, if you will, by someone who just doesn't want to even entertain the idea of a move to a retirement community. I can't. I got this stuff, and that's that. I'm sticking with my stuff. Go away.
That's right. I'm not ready yet. I've got all this stuff to deal with.
Right.
Right? And it's just prolonging the inevitable. It's waiting and it's procrastinating. And who knows what you could be missing by waiting that extra month, 6 months, or a year. At least when we can be of service and be a resource, even if you are thinking, well, maybe 3 months from now might be right, but all this stuff does get in the way. Even we can go in, my lifestyle consultants, my executive directors, they can go in to a home to help you sort out and to make recommendations, such as Patrick and Act Together Moving Services. Mm-hmm. We work with a variety of different other downsizing specialists. Last month, we were here with Good Riddance.
Right,
Next month, we're going to be here with Still on the Hill.
Okay.
And there are many other companies that will help you deal with that stuff. But it's a mindset, and it's an excuse
to
put it off because of the fear.
Right. And Therese, when these people sit in your office and they have this conversation with you, and it's happened more than once, I'm willing to bet it happens probably once a week.
Might happen tomorrow.
But when the argument gets presented, I mean, and this is a person who's very sincere, perhaps very afraid, but nonetheless is feeling pretty emotional. This is emotional stuff.
It is, absolutely.
And I'll talk to Patrick about this too, because I mean, you're walking away from something you've invested the bulk of your life in accomplishing.
Exactly.
And somehow or another, for some, that's seen as surrender rather than, hello, it's time to go and have some fun.
Well, and I think you have to be able to establish for somebody how this move to another place can actually enhance your life, not take away from it. If you're dreading a move to a place like the Dorchester, it might be because you remember visiting somebody decades ago in in Saskatchewan, in the little town that I grew up in. We called it the old folks' home.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't, it didn't look like the Dorchester in any way, shape, or form. Places like the Dorchester are like retirement resorts.
Yes.
There is entertainment and activity and recreation going on. People are enjoying absolutely lovely, regular, well-balanced meals. We have a private bus, so we're out and about, looking around, taking people to the bank, taking people to shop, taking people to the doctor. There's even a rum run.
Oh, well.
Once a week.
Okay. Patrick picked right up on that one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and many of our new residents that come to live with us have been recommended by a current resident.
Okay.
It's like
That's a good point.
They come, they visit, they see it's good food, it's good entertainment, there's variety, there's nobody saying you got to do this at this time, you got to do that at that hour. You know, it's like we do not lock you in your room and throw away the key. So they come and go as they please. They get to experience it through their friends who have moved in, and they say, maybe I should give this a try. And their friends who are residents convince them. They are our ambassadors.
Yeah, I can well imagine. But, further to Teresa's point about the old folks' home, a lot of seniors who are really not up to speed with the developments in the retirement living industry in Canada, still have in their mind, when you close your eyes, in your mind's eye, you can see that gothic old terrible place where they used to warehouse old people. In Saskatchewan, in your case, Teresa, in Ontario, in mine. I mean, I know what they're talking about, and I can see the image in my mind's eye, which is why the extended trial stay is so terribly important for some of those people, because that's what they think. The Dorchester or Whitecliff, they think it's one of those gothic old horrible places.
That's right. But there are no bars on the windows, right? There are no gates to keep you in or keep people out. And we do recommend a minimum of 2 weeks, because there is a weekly program and a 6-month rotation of our dietary meals in culinary.
Okay.
Because everything changes on a daily basis, because we offer variety and options, that to just come in for 2 days, maybe you'll miss seeing friends that you thought were going to be there because they went off on a vacation.
So the suggestion is you want to give those tires a kick, you give them a good long kick.
Exactly.
As to Teresa's guest, who's just moved in after a 1-month trial stay.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's really kicking the tires.
And, the contrast between the place that you just described that didn't look good, sometimes didn't smell all that good, and just didn't look like a very stimulating place.
Something out of the Addams Family.
Something like that. We actually are so far down the other end of the scale with a movie theater and a little health and wellness gym, a little cafe, hair salon and barber shop, private dining room, dance floor, happy hour once a week. It's some people don't know what they're missing.
And some, actually, we've only had this happen a couple of occasions, and mostly with men, believe it or not. They've actually just shown up after they've been invited to a couple of things and, dined with a couple of residents. One evening, they just show up with suitcase in hand and go, I'm moving in now.
Yep.
It's like,
okay.
Okay.
Oh, we'll find a place. So, Patrick, I would just speak to the emotion of all of this. You're the guy who's going to be in their home, making the 3 piles, sorting out the stuff. And I imagine that's pretty intense, some of the moments of the sorting. And I've got to let go. I just coming to terms with having to let go.
Well, I just want to backtrack quickly and just say, that when I think of these retirement residents, they're vibrant communities.
Yeah.
And you won't know that unless you go in and you eat a meal there, you spend some time there, you get a sense for the recreation that's going on, things you enjoyed, a few years ago. You now have a chance to do them again, and you meet like-minded folks that are great neighbors, and you want to be part of their community.
But to get to that point, you got to go through a few emotional roller coaster rides.
Yeah, and you know what? Our goal, my sister Annie and I, we love to take the stress out of their hands. And, we approach this situation multiple times a month. We're helping folks move every week. So for us, we don't see this huge mountain of stuff. For us, we're basically seeing, I need to call the gentleman from St. Vincent de Paul. He's going to love these donations.
Right.
I know 3 buyers that would love to offer you money for your teak furniture that you've said, I want to let go of. So we're looking through a house and seeing all the solutions, and we just ask for them to, get on board.
Right.
So, Patrick, I've heard that other downsizing specialists have also been able to help couples stage their home. They've got it up for sale, but they know they have to get rid of a bunch of stuff, but they're not sure how quickly it'll sell, and they want to move in with us. Do you help them with that too?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we're going to clear out a whole bunch of things that they want to donate to different folks, well, that's actually a great, a big recommendation from both stagers and realtors is that less stuff is better.
Absolutely.
So if we can,
you got to give the potential buyer a chance to see where their stuff might go.
Less is more.
That's right.
And then in Victoria, I also heard of a time when we did have a resident who was in a large apartment and they wanted to downsize again and within our own building. So your sister came in and helped them do that too.
Yeah.
It was fabulous because she was already familiar with them and their belongings, and she was already familiar with our building.
Yeah, it's the kind of business where you would think repeat business. How does that work? But actually, we get calls all the time. Some people we've moved up to 3 times, and it's not because they regretted a decision, but because they got a sense for the fact that it wasn't so traumatic.
Once the first step was taken, it gets a little easier to take the second.
And then they realize, if I can move to the 3rd floor, I get a view of this.
Right.
They start to recognize that they're in the driver's seat.
Right.
And how can they position this to really work for them?
I need to take a quick break here. We're talking retirement living with our guests from Revera Retirement Living. You can find out a whole lot more about this organization by checking them out online at reveraliving.com. Our guests are Lydia Miller from the sales office here in British Columbia. Lydia runs the show for the province. From Kelowna and the Dorchester, Therese Elvis, lifestyle consultant, is with us, as is Patrick Fagan from Act Together Moving. Lots more still ahead. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's all about the baby boomer lifestyle. Boomer Life on AM 650.